So you want to do long distance riding on your Ninja 400, maybe a little camping. Well, you've come to the right place. So most of the stuff I've done to this bike has been not something you could buy off the shelf. Attaching the tent right here. These are 50 caliber ammunition cans. Obviously not a store-bought item. Requires a lot of bungee cord. I carry a first aid kit here on the back. One thing you're going to want to be aware of if you get a small first aid kit like this is this one was purchased in Canada. That means the opposite side comes with French on it. If you respect yourself at all, you will make sure that it's English facing out. One thing with a little bit of long distance motorcycle riding I have learned, always carry rain suits. This is just a little bag I made. It carries 2 rain suits. That will save your trip. The thing I like about this ammo can setup that I have is it's waterproof. While stuff can be stored on it, you can lift it up. They're super handy. In here, I have set up for all my electronics. It's a mess, but you can charge my communicators. I've got GoPro chargers. I've got a 5-port USB, and this plugs in under the seat. I've got, you know, other miscellaneous things like tire repair kit, a little tripod. I can put anything in here, you know, that's electronic use is really handy. So, tent stakes, I strapped one side to the other of this frame I built. So, there's my tent. I recently went on a almost 3,000 mile 10-day trip, and one of the things I wanted to make sure I had was tools, so I kept this extra tool roll. How I planned out what's in my tool roll is I kept from my normal tool set all the things out that I used on the Ninjas I was working on and doing maintenance. That's 10 millimeters, that's 12s, sometimes 14s, 17s, all those things, pliers, and I just put them in a separate container until I was done, and then I placed them in that. So now I know, you know, I could take apart this bike. First aid kit. In this ammo can, I kept the essentials of the day. I kept gloves, camping food, condiments, as you can see here. I kept extra gloves, big warm pair of gloves, which turned out handy, necessary. I keep chapstick, keep a little pair of scissors. I keep a lot of extra cordage. I keep zip ties. I keep my paperwork under here, some nasal spray, because that's a real bummer when you're in a helmet for 10 plus hours. The headlamps, tire gauge. I keep my tire pump back here, strapped to the back of this frame. I did this trip 2-up, if you've watched the other videos, as I'm starting editing the footage. This was a learning experience for me, but a female's undercarriage, if you will, is not at all tailored to a sport bike seat. This is an Airhawk. I read tons of reviews on these. Nothing but positive, except for I think a couple people who expect their ride to be Cadillac, you know, ride. If you're on a motorcycle, it's not going to be super comfortable. That's all there is to it. On this, I keep an extra visor. I like to use a tinted visor on a bright day, and sometimes you're at night, you run into night, sometimes the trip takes longer than you thought. You need to put on a reasonable visor, and so I keep a clear one in here. I keep all my incidentals, like wallet, things like that. This is really easy to grab. This doesn't go anywhere on the tank at all. Anything that I might need. Wallet, ibuprofen, a hat if I so please. Now, onto the front of the bike. I take my extra helmet for when I have to go pick up my girl. And then I've got this. This is the thing I get asked the most questions about, this frame and this backpack. This is just a normal cheap backpack. In here, I have a couple compression bags. In these compression bags, I have I believe this is a 6x8 tarp in one of these, crumpled down. I've got 2 camp pillows in this one, crumpled down. And in this one, this big one, both the sleeping bags. I also keep a garbage bag, a big black garbage bag, to put everything in, because this is not waterproof, you can tell. And on the front of the bike, it gets blasted if you do get rain. In this front pocket, these are 2 camping inflatable pads. They're very, very effective, amazingly effective, only about an inch thick. I keep the factory Ninja toolkit and a set of Allen keys. We take this off. When I'm not camping, I use this frame for other things. Sometimes I'll put my rain suits there. So, just a little backpack, no arms. This little frame I built attaches underneath the mirror bolts and comes up here, and then I just built off that. Pretty simple. I definitely know I'm doing an experimental thing here. So one thing I'm certain of when I ride with this is I'm checking it periodically to make sure my backpack's not coming loose, because I think probably the last place you want something to fall off your bike is right in front of your front tire. I don't know how good the structure is underneath the fairing here, and so I've been checking that periodically for wiggle. If I need to tear it apart and weld anything, I don't think I do. It seems to be super solid. One of the issues I ran into with the tank bags is that my key to remove this pillion seat had to be specially modified to fit, like so. So I remove that, and then we go down to my seat. On my seat, you'll notice it doesn't look like a standard Ninja 400 seat, and you would be correct in your observation. What it is this is just synthetic wool. But I tried to order some wool, and you know how Amazon can be tricky sometimes. Authentic real wool. It wasn't. But this thing made this seat such a different world. I normally ride quite a ways on the factory seat. I'll do 300 miles in a day on a regular basis. You get sore. I don't think it's as bad as most people think, but what can I say? That thing, I sat on it for 23 and a half hours and can't complain. So, I mean, this is pretty much it. I've got a couple other little mods on the bike. I've got, I've got the ECU tuned. I've got a different air cleaner, MWR, MMR. Got some swing arm spools to help do some maintenance. 2 brothers, exhaust, and those are the main things. This frame was not an easy deal to do. As you can see under here, this is not what it normally looks like. There's normally a divider in here. I got rid of that. Here's the power supply, hooked right up to the battery. So if you leave that plugged in for too long, you're gonna kill your battery. These bolts go all the way through down to where the tail tidy goes, right in here. Obviously just took the tail tidy and zip tied it to the back of this bar. So that's the main support. It goes right to the swing arm. It's pretty dang strong. On this side, it goes to the exhaust hanger. On that, I built a false exhaust hanger out of steel, and I built it to the back. I tapped holes, and it matches up with this, so the whole thing's symmetrical. I've got nearly 10,000 miles on this, so it hasn't skipped a beat. I've dropped the bike twice now on this side, and there's no damage besides this little bit of cosmetic. I'm pretty happy with it. I doubt I get the same gas mileage. A good backpack is a must. This is a decent one I got from REI. It can be fitted really nice. I keep a selfie stick for my extra GoPro that I made. Just a handy little thing. I keep a couple pairs of sunglasses. This old cup that I make my instant coffee in the morning. These are a couple camp towels, real tight. You know, it's just nice having some liquids, easy to access. This outside pack, I keep my warm weather gear because where I'm at, it gets cold at night. No matter what time of year, even if it's 100 degrees during the day, it's gonna get cold at night. Got this little bag of toiletries, and I keep my clothes. And that is